Welcome back to RC Truth Media. We're going to be going over some important details regarding our future and how you can prepare today. Also, we're going to be going over situations that are going on all over the globe regarding the grand solar minimum. First, I want to read something to you that is from iceagenow.info. This is a recent article from this month of the 14th of June. And it says, will the solar minimum cause a new ice age? Ask Italian website. This Italian website, Il Medio, had an article a couple weeks ago about low solar activity and its consequences, says Italian geologist Dr. Mirko Poletto. Despite the fact that the writers on that website believe in global warming, they're now considering a cold theory. I think now cooling evidences are so strong they can't be ignored any longer. That's right. Even many people in the mainstream narrative are now coming over to the global cooling community and realizing that it's not just a altogether warming Earth, and that's not what happens. We don't just continue to keep warming and warming and warming. In all actuality, we go through cycles. Okay, there's a time of cooling and there's a time of warming, time of cooling and a time of warming, and it so happens that we are in a time of cooling. Will the solar minimum cause a new ice age? Our star is at the minimum of activity, and the consequences could be glacial. Our beloved sun has reached its deepest solar minimum. We are talking about the sunspot count. The fewer sunspots, the less heat emanates the sun, and the more spots, the stronger the energy is. For months now, few or no spots have been seen. Most climatologists believe that the last event of this kind, which took place between 1645 and 1715, which is called the Maunder Minimum, caused the Little Ice Age, in which the global average temperature of the Earth dropped by 1.3 degrees Celsius, causing massive waves of frost on many European countries for many years. With these premises, it is self-evident to think that the Earth's climate is gradually cooling down, probably leading us to another small ice age. So be careful. If the sun doesn't wake up, winter could be closer than you think. That's right, winter is here. On many places in the planet where it should not be winter right now, it is, including the Arctic. It's summertime in the Arctic and it's nearly completely covered with ice. Okay, this is a new article from today. I guess it's just more like a chart rather than an article. It says, where's that so called global warming at? Look at this map. Purple signifies sea ice thickness of approximately 1/2 to 1.5 meters, which is 20 inches to 5 feet. Blue or green signifies 5 feet to 10 feet of ice. Yellow or orange signifies 10 feet to 13 feet of ice. Red is 13 to 16 feet, and white is 0 thickness of ice. I don't see much open water, do you? Here's a map of the Arctic Ocean, the area in light blue from Wikipedia. Another article I'd like to show you from NoTrickZone.com says, where's the warming? Summer snow blankets Poland and Ukraine. 27 summer camp children evacuated. The Arctic and the North Atlantic have suddenly turned surprisingly cold. First, according to Weatherbell meteorologist Joe Bastardi, the northern Atlantic has turned cold. So cold, in fact, that Bastardi called it impressive. Winter refuses to die as large parts of the northern hemisphere, like Labrador and eastern Europe, get blanketed by unusual summer snow. Arctic ice volume reaches 13-year high. Greenland snow mass balance explodes, and tropical Atlantic is the coldest on record. Yes, we are definitely in the grand solar minimum. This is now called the Eddy minimum. Take note. All the Atlantic cold could have been a big positive impact on the upcoming hurricane season, says hurricane expert Philip Klotzbach. 1 week ago, Klotzbach tweeted, the tropical Atlantic sea surface temperatures 10 to negative 20 and 60 to negative 20 remain at record cold levels since 1982 for mid-June, about 0.2 degrees Celsius colder than prior coldest was in 1985, and nearly 1.7 degrees cooler than last year at this time. Colder SSTs typically mean quieter Atlantic hurricane seasons. That's good. we don't want to have a whole bunch of hurricanes this season, right? So with us getting more cooler, meaning water is going to get cooler, and hopefully there will be less hurricanes. Canada shivers. They are in a freeze as unprecedented cooling hits in the late June. It says also much of Canada has been cold, and the forecast for the next 15 days shows little warming. Labrador was hit severely by a winter storm just days ago. According to the CBC, there's 6 feet of snow around Labrador Lodge. This is unprecedented this late in June. This is the latest in the season to have this much snow at Igloo Lake Lodge, says operator. As the following chart shows, there's no relief from the cold there in sight. Labrador may not get a summer snow in 50 years. At Friday's Weather Bell Daily Update, Joe Bastardi said, "Boy, I'll tell you what, Canada's just not getting a break. There it's just really cold, and it's still plenty cold up here in Labrador where they haven't had a summer at all, and they may not." Just days ago, the Weather Channel here reported that there was still 6 feet of snow. Yeah, I don't think Canada's gonna have a summer this year. Okay, there was a whole year without a summer. This was in the Maunder minimum, and in Canada, they're already very cold much of the year, so it wouldn't take much global cooling for this to happen. Also, it says summer snow falls in summer in Poland and Ukraine. Yesterday, on the second day of summer, snow fell in Poland, according to Severe Weather Europe at Facebook. In Ukraine, in the Carpathin, 27 children had to be rescued from summer camp by emergency crews as several centimeters of snow fell and temperatures dropped near freezing, the German Weser-Kurier here reports. Also, the Arctic ice and snow sees impressive rebound. I've already showed you what's going on with the Arctic. Here's another chart to show you what's going on in its levels of snow ice. Okay, another article here is from newatlas.com. It's titled "Scientists Record Coldest Temperature Ever Seen on Earth's Surface." I just thought this was amazing. Um, Coldest temperature ever reported, huh? That must tell you something, okay? Since they've done the recording, for how many years has this been able to do this now? I would say at least 75. This is the coldest, okay? So all these global warming people out there need to just stop what they're doing and look the other way. To say Antarctica is cold will surprise nobody, but just how cold it can get might. Researchers from the National Snow and Ice Data Center at the University of Colorado Boulder have now identified the coldest places on the planet, where the mercury plummets to almost negative 100 degrees Celsius, which is negative 148 degrees Fahrenheit, under specific conditions. The area in question is the East Antarctic Plateau, a huge empty expanse size of Australia that starts right near the South Pole, sitting some 3,500 millimeters or miles above sea level. The air over the plateau is extremely still, dry and thin, and while that makes it a perfect spot for future observatories, it also helps it rank among the chilliest places on Earth. In other news of global cooling, this is from SOT.net. It says there's a record cold in Slovakia. This is from yesterday. I'm sorry, this is actually from 3 days ago. It says, along with rare summer snows in high Tatras Mountains, another place where summer snow is going on. It's the coldest June 23rd ever. Okay, another record cold breaking news. On Saturday in Slovakia, the cold was primarily manifested in higher mountain climates. On Lomeniki Peak, the temperature reached a high of only negative 2.8 degrees Celsius. This is the coldest high for June 23rd in the history of observation, says Slovak Hydrometeorological Institute. The peaks of Krevan saw a weak snow cover, while Sidakal saw ankle-deep snow on Sunday. Definitely, this is contributed by the Grand Solar Minimum. Watchers has some great news for us. Not great, actually, not great. At least 23 killed, 11 missing after heavy rain floods northern Vietnam. Vietnam has just been torn apart by all the monsoons, the flooding, landslides. Oh man, their crops have been devastated. People's housing, so much people have been taken away from their houses and homes, been destroyed. This is very sad. What's going on over there? Over in India as well. It says, according to the latest report of the Central Steering Committee on Natural Disaster Prevention and Control, flash floods across the affected provinces have killed 23 people and left 11 missing. Torrential rains and floods have also swept away 161 houses, damaged 958, and submerged thousands of hectares of crops. More than 195 cattle and 5,900 poultry were killed, while nearly 1,500 homes are still submerged underwater. And no wonder why so many people are leaving their country and going to other places right now. Look what's happening. Okay. Also, from watchers, over 200,000 without power as severe thunderstorms hit part of the U.S. Okay, we knew that the power could be taken out due to the changing jet streams and due to the solar events, but there's also these thunderstorms that are happening as well. We get more storms during the grand solar minimum, so there's all types of different aspects, different events contributed by the grand solar minimum that can take out power, and this is just one of them, the thunderstorms. There's more than 200,000 homes and businesses were left without power after severe thunderstorms swept through parts of the United States on Thursday. This is yesterday. One man was killed in a storm-related accident in Alabama. Strong winds and heavy rain affected areas from mid-Mississippi Valley to the Gulf Coast on Thursday, downing trees and power lines and leaving. We already said that. On June 29th, there's more than 56,000 customers were still without power in Alabama. That's today. 42,000 in Illinois, 24,000 in Missouri, 13,000 in Minnesota, 9,600 in Oregon, according to Power Outage US. That's crazy. That is a lot of people, right? It says 5 people have been struck and killed by lightning by June 20th in the United States, with all 5 of the deaths occurring in the South. That tells you how much more crazy weather is happening, lightning events. We knew we'd see more lightning. Everybody needs to be prepared, especially if you're in the South. If you're in some of these states, have a plan. If you haven't been affected yet, you're most likely going to get affected in the future. So you need to have a backup plan. Okay. Another article I'd seen from watchers says there's a new eruption of Mount Agung disrupts air travel in Bali in Indonesia. We have more volcanoes that are disrupting all over the earth right now, and we are going to continue to see more and more volcanoes going up. And all it takes is the big enough volcano to go off to really start this cooling. And that's one of the things that contributes to this cooling is the volcanoes. Time we get more and more volcanic activity, which the just eruptions um, plummet the smoke into the air, which causes the cooling of the earth. We all know what happens. The solar